Clipchamp Create.
Okay, so today we're going to be doing our lesson on layout. If you check in Google Classroom, you'll be able to see the examples that I have for you there to see what it'll look like when we actually do it on metal. But because we're doing this at home, we're going to do it on paper to teach you the basics of layout. So the first step to this is you're going to have a ruler. You're going to have the this piece of paper, roughly this piece of paper, that is on the internet, on Google Classroom. Print that off or have that on your screen so you can see this as you're doing it. See all your measurements. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the line right up the middle. You can see that's 4 1/4 inches. So if I take my ruler, set this up to the edge of the paper. Now I recommend you do this in pencil, but I'm going to do it in pen so you guys can see it a little bit better. Do another one up here. Now the more accurately you make this, the better it's going to be in the end. And then when we're all done, we're going to fold this up and it's going to turn into a paper airplane. Now this airplane that I've chosen is the world record longest flying airplane. So it has the flight length record. Okay, now I'm going to go to this measurement here, which says 4 7/8 down, and then we're going to draw a line across. So I'm going to go 4, set up the ruler to the end, 4 7/8, 4 7/8. I'm going to draw my line across. So if we were doing this on metal, so we would be doing this for like cut lines. Oh, the other thing I forgot, at the top here, I want you to write top and then write bottom. That way you can switch this paper around and you always know which is which. And then on this piece of paper it says top and bottom. Okay, so now we're going to draw this guy here, which is 7/16 of an inch down. We're going to make a mark and that's going to go to the middle here. 7/16, and the same on the other side. Good. Now I'm going to go from there down to there. Across there. So I'm going off of my rough copy. You'll have, I'm going to add dimensions to this copy and you guys are going to copy off of this. Okay, so now we're going to go with this guy here, which is 11/16. So 8, 9, 10, 11. Right there. So we know the middle ½ inch is going to be 8/16. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So just simplifying things for you guys that are struggling with this. Okay, so now we go from the top here. I'm going to purposely skip over top of my writing there. Like I said, do this in pencil in case you make some mistakes. Oh, and I also made a little bit of a mistake here. This line and this line have to go all the way through. So we're going to add that in. Let's just double check. So this should be 1 15/16. There we go. We're right in the ballpark. Okay, now I've got to go on this guy here. We're going to draw these vertical lines in. So I got to go 3 inches in and then go 1 1/4 long. So 3 inches in. And I want to draw this. So I'm going to go to 2. So I'm going to make sure this line is parallel to this line here. So if I go to the 2, so if I go 1, oops, oh, don't do what I just did. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you use a pencil. So 1 1/4, yep, 1 1/4. And just ignore that screw up there. So I'm going to go 3 inches right there. Go parallel. Flip this around. Parallel to that. So 1 1/4. So you see it almost touches that line there. Then I'm going to go, so I got to do this little line now, and that's got to be 3 5/8 in, and that's only 5/8 long. So we're going to go 3 5/8 right there. 3 5/8 right there. Now I've got to go 5/8 long. It's right there. And right there. Okay, have I forgotten any lines? That should be it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this guy here. My first step is I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to go this way. Is that the way I folded it? Yeah. So I want to go this way. So I'll move this out of the way. Now if I did this right, it should be right on the fold line. There we go. So it's really close. Now I'm going to take some stuff I got laying around here. Didn't get that quite perfect, but it's pretty good. So just something with smooth edges like this. It's going to make my life easier. Okay, now I've got to fold along this line here. So what I'm going to do is you take this, fold that into the corner. Now, take your time. I'm doing this quickly for the video. But if you take your time, you should be able to get a little bit nicer job than I've got here. I'm going to leave just a tiny, tiny gap right here. I'm rolling each edge. So I want this nice and sharp. Okay, so the next step, after we've got these corners folded, what we got to do is we got to fold it along this line right here. We'll just do that like that. Once that's done, we'll continue on with the next clip. Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to fold these down like this. Lay that down. You can see that makes the crease right on that line perfectly. Now we're going to take this edge right here and run it up against this line right here. So this edge we're going to bring down to that line. So bring that edge down. Same thing on this side. Bring that edge down. Now we're going to roll these. Make these nice and flat. Roll all of this. Like I said, just use whatever you can laying around your house. I'm going to take this, bring that in, and then you'll see those two will join in the middle. Now, of course, because I rushed this, it doesn't fit as nice as it could, so I'm just going to tweak this a little bit. go. It's out a little bit, so we're just going to tweak that a hair too. Okay, now I've got these lines right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this back on these lines. Try and get that nice and straight. Straight-ish. Okay, now here's the part that gets a little bit more tricky. So you just got to watch me. So you see how that points to right in the neck right in there? So this open. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over, fold this like that. See the tip is sticking out. Now, in the front, I'm going to fold it, this, right up into that corner, right up in here. Just like that, okay? I'm also going to do that same thing on the other side. So right up into that corner. Okay, now I'm going to open this. So finger in there, push this back. So it's like that. That gets pushed back, and I'm going to pinch that right there. So I just took that tip and pushed it up like that. I'm going to fold it back like that. I'm going to flatten this out. I'm going to take this top and fold it along that line right there. So push it down as hard as it'll go. Right there. Then take that and push that back. I'm going to roll that corner really nicely. Now, what we want to do is we want to fold it straight along that line where that crease, pardon me, where that crease is right there. Sorry, a little hiccup there. So this one's going to be a little bit difficult because you got so many layers of paper in the front. I hope this is right. Yeah, we want to try and make this as parallel as we can right there. Roll that, roll this, flip it over, same thing. Okay, so there's my paper airplane. I also want to flip up the winglets just a little bit of a roll there. Try and keep this as parallel as possible. You see how that's the same thickness all the way through? It's a little bit low on the back. Let's do it from the top here so I can see it a bit better. There we go. And a little too high, right about there. So when you're all done, what I want you to do is submit a picture of all your lines on it. And I want to submit a picture of the paper airplane. And I also want you to try and fly this thing. Now keep in mind this is for, this paper airplane is for flight time. So if you throw it really hard, it starts to do weird things. But if you just give it a little light toss, it's actually flies very, very nicely. If it noses down right away, just go to the back and just flick this up just a little bit if you have to. Keep in mind this one was rushed, so there's a lot of wrinkles and stuff in it. If you take your time on yours, it should come out really nice. But if it just noses down, just flick this up just a little bit and then just mess around with it, have fun, and then make sure you submit a picture of this and submit a picture of your drawing so I can see that you did all your layout properly. All right, that's it for today.